I didn't come to play with you niggas. I'm gonna let y'all know the vibe I'm in right off the top. So I hope y'all are ready to like do shit and really get lit, cause I'm super dead ass serious. All go everything. Look, Kendall's real nice, real well dressed. Look at that. Look at that. It's like modern witchy art. Look at this shit. Anyway, so it's a Sagittarius new moon, and we're here for this motherfucking abundance ritual. Big abundance energy all around. Clap it up for that in the comment section or whatever the hell you niggas doing. I didn't come to play with you boys. Not at all. Alright, so before I really get into the actual breaking down and describing of energies and, like, you know what I'm saying, talking about everything surrounding this particular new moon and all that shit, I want to really detail and describe all the different like elements of the ritual, so that way you niggas can like do it correctly on your own time and add to the energy pool that we're developing. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna start there, and then I'm gonna go into like the real shit where we really lay down the law in terms of what we need to be doing, what we're actually reprogramming, the intentions of the entire ritual, and really laying out a new schematic for what abundance is, what abundance can be, um, and ultimately calling it in all of its various forms to be able to utilize it. I recently found out that next year is going to be the year of the pig, and in my tantric deck there's a particular card, number 59, pearls before swine, and that card it kept coming up a lot lately, and I hadn't realized the whole year of the pig connection. But it talks about how there's a pig in front of this large pile of pearls, and it obviously has eaten a bunch of them, because ultimately pigs, on one end, represent like a lack of appreciation for the finer things, because pigs are known to just eat whatever, so they don't really care what it is that they're eating. Um, so on one end, it represents like that ignorance, that lack of appreciation for what something is. But then, as I was researching, the pig itself in the Chinese zodiac, actually represents a lot of abundance and prosperity. And when I peeped that, I was like, all right, well, that explains why the pig ends up, you know, getting in front of the pearls. You know what I'm saying? That's how the pig ends up finding its way to the pearls. We know that like expensive shit like truffles, they use pigs to find those. You see what I'm saying? So like pigs know how to get to the good shit. They know how to get to like the abundance and the prosperity, these rare um gems, and you know what I'm saying, these priceless opportunities, I guess, come in with that energy. But once I really started to think about it, I was like, oh shit, bringing home the bacon is a term about getting money. You see what I'm saying? A piggy bank. You see what I'm saying? I started really seeing like the more subtle connections to the pig and this energy of abundance. And with that card, Pearls Before Swine, they talk about how discriminating wisdom actually allows you to really keep the appreciation going, in terms of understanding when you are being given pearls to eat by the universe. You see what I'm saying? When you are being given all these gems, you see what I'm saying? Having that discriminating wisdom, being able to say, all right, this is the shit I got versus this shit over here, it's not that one is better or worse. It's just levels. You see what I'm saying? It's just, all right, boom. By being able to accurately discern the differences between the gems that I'm being given and that others are being given, you see what I'm saying? You ultimately are able to really appreciate what it is that you actually have, and cultivate it in the best way and become the master of all of these pearls that you're consuming on that level. So, yeah, just that little connection, but abundance is all around. Jupiter's in Sag, where life is good right now. Life is really, really good. Life is going to be good for the next year or so. I'm having a Jupiter return. Shout outs to your boy. Shout outs to your boy. Jupiter in Scorpio was wild for me because I have a Pluto that is riding the border of Scorpio and Sagittarius. So that was a really interesting year for me in terms of like a death and a rebirth type aspect. But but yeah, there's just a lot of abundance in the air. We're gonna talk about all these different concepts around abundance and everything. But like I said, materials and shit first. All right, so what you're gonna need is a white 7-day candle, right? It's these big pillar candles, as you can see. You're gonna need one of these. You're gonna need some gold ribbon, obviously. Um, you can get both of these at a dollar store. So get you some gold ribbon. It's Christmas time. They got all them little cheesy decorations. Go get some. This is what I got. Like magic on a cheap dime. Like it's serious. So you can get these at the dollar store. So like white 7-day candle, gold ribbon. Definitely get some. Let me move this up there. 2 gold pillar candles that look like this. All right, definitely want to get some of those. Florida water. Get yourself some Florida water. You can find this at Botanicas and like crystal shops. It's pretty cheap, so invest in it. It's one of the best spiritual cleansers that I know about. You also want to have amber resin. Some amber resin. You can get this at crystal shops too. It usually comes in these like these big ass like chunks, like they look like a chunk of rock. You see what I'm saying? Just use like a spoon or some like wooden object. I use like the mallet from my singing bowl, and I just crushed it up into like a little powder, so that way I can put it on the candle a little bit easier. So yeah, definitely get yourself some amber resin. You need some amber incense and also patchouli incense for this particular ritual. Citrine, since we're talking about everything that we need, let me jump into like the crystal aspect of this as well. You're gonna need citrine. I definitely would suggest getting lodestone because of one of the energies that it's connected with, one of the entities that it's connected with. So lodestone would be nice if you can get your hands on that. Citrine, get your hands on that. And some rose quartz, yeah, some rose quartz to really balance it out in your heart and really create that open receiving space. So yeah, so we got lodestone, citrine, rose quartz needed for this ritual. I actually got some lodestone oil. The place I went to, they didn't really have like pieces of lodestone that I wanted, so I was just like, you know what? Let me get the oil. The shit smells amazing. Look around in your local crystal shop. You see what I'm saying? Find yourself some oils that resonate with the energy of abundance. Lodestone attracts, it's magnetic, so lodestone attracts a lot of things into your life. So combining that with the citrine energy, which is very much connected to prosperity, abundance, and all that, um, will definitely be a powerful combo. So I definitely want to make sure I stress that as well. So with cleansing the candles for the 7 day candle, I created like a little mix of water, salt. If you use sea salt or like regular salt, it really doesn't matter. Um, Sea salt's a little better, I guess. But water, sea salt, a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and then a little bit of Florida water. Um, Mix that together in like a large container, large enough to fit the candle. You see what I'm saying, or at least large enough to like stand it up and have most of it in like submerged. Um, so that let that sit for like maybe 6 hours at least. You see what I'm saying? Just to really reset all of the energy in the candle and really wipe it of all the previous influences and imprints and everything. You definitely want to have like a clean slate to work with when you're doing something like this. So definitely do that for the 7 day candle, and then for the gold candle, um, the outside of it's kind of like a gold foil type of thing, like so it kind of like rubs off a little bit if you like press on it too hard. So I just took a paper towel and I doused it in a little alcohol and a little Florida water, and I just like patted them down and kind of cleansed them that way. So the Florida water ends up becoming pretty important, just for really cleansing the area, cleansing the space. Of course, you're on my altar right now. I kind of cleared everything else off just so you niggas could have this, pristine view. Really appreciate this moment in your life. All my shit's over there. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure you cleanse the space you're doing it on. Alcohol, when you sniff it, rubbing alcohol in particular, when you sniff it, it really clears up your nasal passages. So it literally clears a pathway for spirit to exit, enter and exit the body. So that Florida water, cleanse the space, cleanse these two candles with like a damp paper towel of that. Um, One of the things that I didn't mention, a small mirror, like a small mirror plate, would be nice. I found this in the dollar store too. You see what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be too hard to get one. Or even something like this. You see what I'm saying? Um, it's recommended. It's optional that you have the mirror plate, but I feel like with mirror magic, the mirror has been known as a way to transport messages back and forth between like the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So, and it also gives you that as above, so below, as within, so without mirror correspondence energy, and kind of brings the whole picture together as you're doing work on this half of this half of the reality. You're also doing work on the other half of the reality. So that's the symbolism behind the mirror. So I really wanted to include that so that way it's not just physical abundance and money. You see what I'm saying? Um, it would be, also like a mental abundance, a spiritual abundance, a real, internal abundance as well. Kind of giving you both sides of the playing field. So yeah, there's that. Um, Lots of amber resin involved. You see what I'm saying? Lots of amber incense involved. So the amber aspect of this ritual plays in with Mama Chola. Um, where is this? Ah, here we go. Mama Chola, one of the Palomayon-based spirits. Um, she is a goddess connected with really all of the most beautiful aspects of the divine feminine, on that regard. So she's the one that deals with sexuality. She deals with creativity, all of the creative arts. Um, she would really be analogous to like a Oshun or a Hathor or Heherud, whatever the hell you want to call her. Um, a Venus on that level, you know what I'm saying? A Bastet on that level. Really connected with all those beautiful prosperous, like all of the beautiful aspects of life seem to be tied into her, and the beauty of life is tied in with her. So we're dealing with Mama Chola. She deals with all of that, the sexuality, the sensuality, all of the beautiful aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with that. She is connected with the energy of yellow, amber, and particularly orange. So one of the things that I would definitely recommend as an offering to this particular ritual would be orange juice. She definitely likes orange juice. If you can get like champagne and make a mimosa, she fucks with mimosas heavy. So we're just really trying to call in these particular energies just because of what they deal with. Um, so yeah, is that. So that's the cleansing of the candles. That's really the most involved part, I guess you can say. Just making sure that this one gets submerged in that water, salt, alcohol, Florida water mixture to reset the energy. You wipe that down. Um, you can set them up on a mirror plate if you can find one. Um, Setting them down is easy. You just take them from the bottom and you kind of light the lighter underneath and kind of twist it. The wax from the bottom will melt off a little bit and you'll be able to like set it in its own wax. You see what I'm saying? So that, what else was there? Oh yeah, the decoration of the candle. I just use gold ribbon. This is like gold glitter ribbon. I have like 3 other kinds of gold ribbon laying around here to dress candles with. Um, just use gold. Like I said, it's Christmas time. It's real easy to find this shit. Um, the sigil that's on it is actually a combination of Mama Chola sigil with La Santissima Piedra Iman's sigil. He's connected with the more financial side of abundance, wealth, prosperity. Yeah, it'll be up. The link will be here forever. Utilize it as many times as you like. All right. So he deals with the more financial aspects of wealth, prosperity, abundance. You see what I'm saying? Whereas Mama Chola deals with the experiences that can be had once you are in that state of physical abundance. You see what I'm saying? And mental abundance, emotional abundance. You see what I'm saying? So really keep that in mind that we kind of mix them together in order to create this sigil. Let me pull up a quick picture of this shit. So that way y'all can see it. Look. Can y'all see it? Nope. No, you able to see it. Alright. So boom. As you can see, I just kind of mixed the sigils. So let me show them both to you. Don't worry. Like I said, the link will be here. You can re-look over this shit, pause it, do all that extra shit for tomorrow. I'm a day early because niggas gotta be prepared and shit in order to do these things. So this is what we're looking like. This is Mama Chola over here. This is Piedra Iman over here. Be creative, combine them, put them on the same sheet of paper, tape that shit to the candle, right? And then you just decorate on top of that and get this shit together and it looks nice. It looks presentable. It looks cute. All that shit. So that's how that goes. And this is all candle magic. Dressing the candle, giving it direction for energy because the candle itself is like the fire aspect of a ritual. So it generates a lot of the energy for the ritual. You see what I'm saying? So directing that through color symbolism, sigils and things like that is going to be very important for actually directing that energy, especially when we think about the fact that the candle flickering, the light from the candle flickering, actually induces alpha state in the brain, which is a very subconscious state. It's pretty much where you go when you are actually meditating. So the alpha state is the meditative state within the brain. So being able to open that up with an intention, with being directed, you'll be able to more so implant, you know what I'm saying, codes into the subconscious mind and actually have them play out in your conscious reality. Um, so that's what we're going for, directing the energy with the male and the female aspects of what, or the masculine and the feminine aspects of what prosperity and abundance looks like. You see what I'm saying? So having that financial aspect, but also having that emotional aspect as well, really balancing out um, those two seemingly opposed sides to really be able to have a very balanced experience of what abundance is. Um, a lot of time niggas just want $1 million. They don't want the $1 million idea though, which would actually be where the real wealth is at. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. So that so once you get a good, tape down of this paper to the candle, wrap your little ribbon around it. You see what I'm saying? You can wrap it all the way up, mummify the shit in gold if you want. Um, I just chose to keep it simple, just for decorating purposes. Um, and then I put the amber resin in the top of the candle. All right. This is all a part of dressing a candle. You see what I'm saying? Amber is an energy that Mama Chola connects with. You see what I'm saying? Or a color that Mama Chola connects with. So I'm going to use that amber as a way to really draw her in or draw her out of my subconscious mind with the symbol of this ritual. You see what I'm saying? Symbols are the best way to communicate to the subconscious. So we have to really make sure we get in all these different symbols into the ritual to activate that energy that is already present. So we're dealing with that. So once you get that resin on top of there, make sure you cut the wick of the candle. You never want to start with the wick uncut because pretty much what I've heard is that you don't know the intentions of the person when they made this candle, when they set this candle. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of always want to cut the wick and start fresh, so to speak, on that regard, with your intention, with your clear, focused thought. So cut the wick down. Don't cut it too low. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to fuck up how it burns, but just cut it down, clip off that end, set a new start for it. That's that. Um, there. Let me see. There's gonna be a lot of fiery things going on, so make sure you niggas are careful. You see what I'm saying? I'd be I'd be a bad guy if I didn't at least give you guys fair warning. Just be careful. Keep an eye on these things. Watch them. If you have to, blow out your candles periodically, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure. Do what you gotta do. You see what I'm saying? Extend the ritual. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? Have fun. Do what you gotta do. But be safe. If you can let it burn straight through and you're comfortable and you know everything's gonna be straight and safe, awesome. Great. Do that. However you want to conduct this ritual is how you want to conduct this ritual. You see what I'm saying? We just need all the symbols present. So money is a symbol for abundance that we often utilize in our minds. You know what I'm saying? Because when we think of money, we think of abundance. We think of having everything that we need in order to do what we want to do. And we usually equate that with money because the system is driven by these pieces of paper. Bet. Gold is a symbol of abundance. You see what I'm saying? The purity of the metal, the rarity of the metal. You see what I'm saying? All of these things become tied into it being connected to the archetype of abundance that exists within the subconscious mind. Um, but really understanding that when we're talking about these golden opportunities, when we're talking about these golden ideas, when we talk about these golden situations, abundance comes in a lot of different forms, and really being able to tap into all of them is where the real abundance is. So limiting yourself to just money kind of ruins the whole feel of what abundance can be, because there's experiences that won't require any of your money. You see what I'm saying? Like, there are experiences where you just end up doing something just based on some people that you know, and being able to have an experience without it involving any form of money at all. So like I said, niggas love or niggas want $1 million, but they don't want the $1 million idea that's actually going to bring these things into fruition, so to speak. Um, so I guess it's kind of like taking that easy way out. But understand, all the forms of abundance are important if you want to be able to really have this shit and not lose appreciation for it. You don't want it to become pearls before swine. You see what I'm saying? You want to really appreciate and become the master of all these pearls that are being given to you. So that's what we're dealing with there. Um, so yeah, all you really need to do at this point, once you kind of cleanse the energy of the candles, you soak this one, the 7-day candle, the white 7-day candle. Um, you wipe down the two gold pillar candles, and you set them. You dress the 7-day candle. You know what I'm saying? All you really need to do from this point would be to pour libations. Um, of course, you can do a lot of different libations. You can call out different uh, deities, different archetypal energies, and pour water to them. So like, you say a name and you pour a little water, you say a name, you pour a little water, and you kind of just give praise to everybody. You can also do this with your ancestors. So my last name's Johnson. I know that there's a whole bunch of other niggas in my bloodline who probably are under the name Johnson. So Ashe to the Johnson family. You see what I'm saying? My mom's last name is Hall. Or, yeah, my mom's last name is Hall. So the Hall family, Ashe. The Buckner family, my grandma, Ashe. So being able to really call out all these different ancestors, and really call them forward to participate in a ritual, to participate in the creation of something with you, becomes very important. So definitely want to do libations. Definitely want to make sure you have water. Make sure you have water. Orange juice, like I said, that's going to be a part of the libation as well. Just having that there for them. Like I said, you can make mimosas with it. And just call out to your higher self. That's really what your higher self is anyways. All you gotta do is utilize your higher self. Alright, so it's cold outside, but now I'm hot. I thought this jacket would be good, but nah. I'm dropping too much fire right now. Anywho, so yeah, that's what we're gonna utilize. If you can get lodestone oil at your particular botanica, your particular crystal shop, whatever the fuck, I suggest it. Otherwise, just get the crystals. Citrine, the lodestone, rose quartz. Get those. Utilize them. It's worth your time. Let me see. So yeah, there's that. So do the libations, you know what I'm saying? Pour out, call on these different ancestors. Look up a different list of fertility gods, gods of abundance, gods of beauty, gods of wealth. Look up all these different things, you see what I'm saying? And have a nice solid list of energies to call up. You see what I'm saying? So that way they can all work to activate the different aspects of this archetype within your subconscious mind. Um, so there's that. Give me 1 second. Let me get some water. Good shit. All right. So yeah, just getting all of that together. For that, you definitely want to open up the ritual with that. Definitely make sure you call out to the four elements. You see what I'm saying? Every ritual needs to contain one representative, I guess you can say, on the actual ritual board that represents one of the elements. So for water or liquids, you see what I'm saying, given to them. Um, Alcohol can be used as a water representative. It can also be used as a fire representative. So alcohol is like fire water, you know what I'm saying? So you can utilize it for both aspects of that. But traditionally for fire, candles become the traditional representative. For air, I'm using incense. You see what I'm saying? The smoke that it releases, right? And then for earth, the crystals themselves would be the earth aspect, and all of the material that we're going to be burning in order to do this ritual itself. So there's that. Um, Start with your libations. Open the space. Invite in all of your guides, all of your ancestors, your higher self. Invite all of those higher guidance mechanisms that you have, all those higher cognitive functions that you have. Call those in. And from there, you want to light your incense. You see what I'm saying? So let me get these. Let me get these here. Get these here too. So you want to light your incense. Just kind of wave it around your altar, almost like like a mini smudge. You see what I'm saying? Of the energy of the area, with that, with the incense smoke. So just get it around the candles. Get it around the area where you're actually doing a lot of the work itself, and then just make sure that you're really thinking about what abundance looks like to you. You see what I'm saying? As you're doing these, um, once you're doing these acts, really make sure that you're focusing your mind where you want it to go. Make sure that what you're doing, um, in your imaginary space at this time is very focused and intent and clear. What does abundance look like for you? These are important questions to ask yourself before you get into the shit, which is why I said I need to talk to you niggas. You know what I'm saying? So really get into a space of thinking about what abundance looks like to you. You see what I'm saying? What would it look like if you had all the resources that you needed? You see what I'm saying? What would it look like if you had all the, emotional support and all of the love and all of the, what I'm saying, clarity and wisdom and discernment, discretion, all of that to actually be able to create the reality you want? What if you had an overflow of these things that actually allowed you to help others reach that same space? You see what I'm saying? By really taking what is pouring out of you in excess, you know what I'm saying? Using that as an example and then becoming it within themselves. So this is what we're talking about, a real abundance. So really focus on what that looks like for you. For me, that shit is a whole lot of land that I can build resorts on. You see what I'm saying? Like little retreat centers. And being able to fly niggas out to do some real deep, spiritual healing for niggas, you see what I'm saying? Really help them step into like a greater level of their knowledge, you see what I'm saying? Almost like those little ayahuasca retreats. Some shit like that, you see what I'm saying? I definitely want to be able to do that, really open people's minds to, their deeper self, their truer self, and really send them back into the quote unquote matrix with a greater ability to actually be able to shake it up and heal a lot of the shit that's going on out here. So that's my little dream. That's my picture of abundance. Just being in a space where I can actually make all of this happen. Being in a space where I have all of the resources, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, intuitively, um, imaginatively. You see what I'm saying? Having all of these resources necessary to actually be able to maintain a situation like that. So we definitely want to really hold that in our mind, really focus that intention, see it, utilize the symbol, the imagery of it to really imprint something on your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is going to do a holistic sweep, right? Subconscious mind loves all of the context around a central idea, whereas like the ego tends to just focus on like a central idea. Um, it's going to associate all of those images with this particular setup of the candles, the crystals, you know, having the water ready, you know what I'm saying, having the incense lit, having, you know, different offerings for them. Like I said, I have wine. I'm about to get some orange juice tomorrow. Um, I'm about to do this shit up. You see what I'm saying? I'm about to really like come in here and like commune with my own, you know, internal abundance. You see what I'm saying? And realize just how blessed I am, you know, on a lot of different levels that maybe I'm not even really consciously aware of. You see what I'm saying? So really taking that in on that level is going to help direct all of the power the way you want it to really go. So, um, this is $1 from my last little abundance ritual. It got all type of fucking candle wax on. I'm definitely not against you niggas using like $1 to symbolize, you see what I'm saying, the abundance that you want. You see what I'm saying? That financial aspect, because as the world is right now, you need a lot of this to be able to do a lot of shit. So just being able to tap into that aspect and utilize it in that way, utilizing money as the tool that it is to direct energy, to direct a current, a flow of energy. You see what I'm saying? In a specific direction, for good or for evil. Once we acknowledge this tool, we'll know how to use it. You see what I'm saying? We'll know how to actually make it so that it can actually help us get things done. So I really want to open up that aspect as well. So if you want to utilize $1 as a part of the ritual, you can draw the sigils on it. You can tape that to the candle. That'd be fire as shit. Definitely do that. Definitely utilize that as well. So I am going. I'm going to light this bitch up real quick. Get this shit together. Alright. So as of right now, we really just, like I said, just focus your energy on what it is that you really want out of life. You see what I'm saying? Really give it that storyline. Really feel it out. You know what I'm saying? According to the Dogon, some of the most advanced knowledge on the planet, right? Their science says that once you imagine it, it's real. It exists. You see what I'm saying? Somewhere. Being able to draw that into a physical manifestation is a very simple process. You see what I'm saying? They were able to detail that process in such a way that it ultimately allowed to, or allowed the Nomo to be able to create the entire universe. You see what I'm saying? Or the entire universe of their choosing, so to speak. So I really want to keep that in mind as well, with this particular. Yeah, I really want to keep that in mind with this particular ritual. That the imaginatory aspect, the imagination, is very much the land where you can create what you want. You know what I'm saying? You literally can create the land around you. You can terraform the reality around you through the imagination. So utilizing the power of that to actually be able to make what you want happen, very important in this ritual. So keep picturing it, keep getting that together in your mind. I'm about to see where my singing bowl is at. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the singing bowl. I'm gonna get the energy. I'm gonna get the energy ready. You see what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna light these candles. Get that on and popping. Like I said, not difficult at all to do. Just requires a little bit of thoughtful focus. Um, Soak the candle for 6 hours at least in that solution of water, sea salt, alcohol, Florida water. Let that sit for a little bit in a container that's big enough to like hold it or at least have most of it submerged. Uh, do that. Wipe down these candles with a damp paper towel of alcohol, Florida water. Um, Witch hazel and Florida water works well as well, so use that if you can. I know witch hazel is super easy to get. Do that. Set the candles on a safe base, so if you can get a mirror, a mini little plate will work. You see what I'm saying? Um, just have that there so that way you don't have to worry about anything like burning or anything like that. Um, so that, then you just get a nice sheet of paper, construction paper, whatever the fuck, just some white paper. Draw the sigil of Mama Chola and Piedra Iman together. You can either put both of them on the same paper, fuse them, create your own rendition of the shit. Whatever works, just understand that that's the intention that you're ultimately drawing on. Is them, of course, once again, Piedra Iman looks like that. And Mama Chola looks like that. The time limit to do this, you got till the full moon to really activate this energy. I would say within the next 7 days would be super important. The Zolkin kind of pointed out December 14th to me as an important day in terms of like energy shifts and planting of seeds. Of course, abundance, that's one of the aspects or one of the symbols associated with abundance is the seed, having the ability to implant something into the ground that can then potentially grow into a source of nourishment for you. So seeding that into the start of this new cycle. So I would definitely say within the next 7 days up until December 14th would be the best time, but you have up until, all the way up until the new moon to really do this. The earlier the better, the more the energy will, amplify itself. So definitely within these next 7 days, get this done. Gotta love a good singing bowl, yo. Anywho, let's get these candles lit. So I just wanted to do a little bit of libation. I already have the water poured. We lit, you know, sugar skulls on the cup, you know what I'm saying? Word to Santa Muerte. Um, so I did want to do a little bit of libation um, to all of the different prosperity gods, love gods, beauty gods that I know of. If you want to research all of these energies, you can. Um, I definitely want to start with Mama Chola, Ashe, Piedra Iman, Ashe, um, Apet, Ashe, the great hippopotamus mother goddess from out of Kemet, Ashe, Ashe to her, Renanet, Ashe, um, let's see here, Bess, Ashe, Het Heru, Ashe, Sekhmet, Ashe, um, let's go to Venus, Ashe, Aphrodite, Ashe, Eros, Ashe. Oh, the Nagas out of ancient India. Yeah, the Nagas, Ashe. They talked about how them boys was in the underworld and they had to use gems and crystals on their body to be able to like see each other in the underworld. Those are the only things that could like reflect enough light so they could be seen. So them niggas actually have a more opulent experience in the underworld. Them boys have a more opulent experience in the underworld than uh, them boys have a more opulent experience in the underworld than even what niggas is doing on uh in the heaven realms. You see what I'm saying? The devas control the heaven realms, but the Nagas live in the underworld. But it's actually stated that the Nagas have way more um, gems and riches and way more opulent cities than the gods do. So maybe the niggas was jealous. And that's why they was always at war with them niggas, but who knows? Um, Definitely want to talk about them. Snakes are a guardian of Earth's wealth. One time for Renanet. Um, there is Oh, there is Mehet Weret or Me'ert, another very strong mother goddess, abundance goddess. Definitely want to keep her in the mix. Ashe. Um, Dionysus, Ashe. Bacchus, Pan, Ashe. Shiva, Ashe. Let's go with Lakshmi, Ganesha, Ashe. Um, let's go with Lamat, Khan, uh, Lamat Khan. Who else is in there? Ooh, How. All of these Mayan archetypes of abundance. Definitely want to get them in there. Um, like I said, you can find a list of all your favorite abundance. Ooh, Nefertim Ashe. You can definitely find a bunch of different abundance gods to utilize. Like I said, most of this ritual is based on Santissimo Muerte and Pietro Iman anyways. But yeah, so we're going to light these candles. We're going to invite the energy in. We've already opened up the space, so to speak. And then I'm going to really get into like the main focus of all this here work we're doing. Put this shit. All right. So you want to light these two candles first when you do the ritual yourself. Because of the fact that they're standing side by side, it kind of gives it this gateway effect. You know what I'm saying? The opening up. Oh, hold on. My bad. This fucking smoke detector is like right under or right above where I'm doing my thing on this damn altar saw. Yeah. But I guess they fucking with us. I'm getting shit hot in here. Alright. Anyway. So you definitely want to light these two candles first. It's gonna open up that gateway. It's like a, you know, these two pillars open up that space for you. So definitely do that. And then you want to just, like I said, while focusing your mind on what you want, that's the most important part. It's not about the words. It's not about any of this fancy shit. The most you should really say is libations. Call out these different gods. Call out to your... You're not gonna let me be great. The universe not trying to let me be great right now. Anyway, this particular ritual will open up all these different spaces of abundance. So, like these two, like this third one, and then, like I said, it's not about the words. It's about the imagery. It's about the feeling. Conjure up that feeling. Conjure up that imagery. Make it work. Use that imagination. That's what we're here for. So we definitely want to focus on that. Once we get all that going, light this candle right here. Really set that intention. Hold it in your heart. Feel it out. Really deal with it on that level. Feel it till you damn near want to cry. I would definitely promote that to you as well. Once you get that popping, listen to music that reminds you of abundance. I was just playing the instrumental for All Gold Everything. You see what I'm saying? 24 karat magic in the air. You see all these different songs, utilize them. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like sound therapy to be able to get this shit off. So that aspect as well. A very simple ritual, a very toned down ritual. You see what I'm saying? But yet very powerful, very potent. Let's see here. Now, what I really wanted to talk to you niggas about was this here. Let me see here. Alright. So now that we're here, now that we're lit, now that the candles are on, now that we've held our intention, now that we know what it is that we want to do, now that we know what it is that we want to do, now that we've opened the space with which to get these things done, you see what I'm saying? Now that we've opened up this portal to the energy within our subconscious mind, let me really talk to you niggas about like what abundance is, what abundance isn't, and why it seems like this is one of the hardest aspects for the spiritual community to kind of get a grasp on. You see what I'm saying? We know the concept of like the poor righteous teacher is a very like big thing in this particular community, in terms of how we, you know, define what success looks like within this particular community. I think it's very important that we understand that abundance is a birthright. You see what I'm saying? I think one of the main aspects that we're ultimately missing is, you know, the solid, stable assurance of knowing how to ask the universe for these things. You know what I'm saying? Our parents tend to especially in these times, these generations. Our parents are barely around, particularly our mothers, where a lot of our concept of nourishment and nurturance comes from. A lot of the most powerful abundance goddesses, you see what I'm saying, are also associated with the ability to give life, the ability to give birth. You see what I'm saying? They're very much associated with that maternal instinct, so to speak. Um, the Milky Way, you see what I'm saying? The ancestors looked at it as the galactic cow. Um, in that regard, in the fact that it's giving milk, it's sustaining its child, you know what I'm saying? It's sustaining the life that is within it on that level. So when we really understand the way in which abundance actually manifests itself, we actually have to kind of look at the motherly influence, and a lot of us don't get enough of that. You see what I'm saying? Um, a mother is supposed to provide, and there are all these things, and through the collapse of society over time, um, and this is really interesting because Kali's pregnant now, and she's getting to really experience this amazing little process called becoming a mother. You see what I'm saying? And as she's really going through all of this, she's definitely made it clear to me that like what motherhood used to be and what motherhood kind of is now is definitely like it's not too balanced. Just because of the fact that the amount of time that certain things actually take to do properly, you see what I'm saying, is not time that we have today. So being able to build those primal bonds with which, you know, you understand how you get nourishment in the universe, understand how you receive what you need to survive in the universe, especially as this higher sentient being that humanity seems to claim itself as, you see what I'm saying? Knowing how to get what it is that you need and get it in an overflow, you see what I'm saying? That's what abundance actually means on an etymological level. It means an overflowing. You see what I'm saying? So being able to get everything you need to survive and thrive and really continue the evolution of self into higher states and higher levels of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So the mother becomes very important. That's why a lot of these abundance deities tend to be very much so linked with the divine mother or the divine cow, the one that's giving the milk and the honey, the one that's giving the sustenance. You see what I'm saying? To the life of the child, the son, so to speak, right? Which are these stars that are also creating environments that are able to sustain a vast, numerous amount of life. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to question whether there's other life elsewhere in the universe. Yes, there is, and this shit's crazy, all right? So, once we really come back to the fact that abundance is a birthright, right? We have to think about the fact that most of the universe is empty space. We have yet to actually utilize all of the potential real estate that exists around here. You see what I'm saying? Less than 5% of the universe is baryonic matter or regular stuff that we can see. Less than 5% of the electromagnetic spectrum is visible light. And then less than 5% of the universe is even electromagnetic radiation. So we're dealing with a force that has a lot of potential energy. We're dealing with a force that has a lot of space to expand, to grow. It seems to have all of the nutrients everywhere to sustain trillions of stars, trillions of systems all over the fucking place, 13.1 billion light years across or some shit like that. And here we are, and most of it isn't even being used up. Most of this shit is still a potential energy. That dark energy, that dark matter. You see what I'm saying? It's still just a potential. And this is where I'm now getting into the space of helping you niggas understand that this is where the imagination comes in, because the imagination brings something out of seeming nothingness. You see what I'm saying? You can imagine anything you want up here. You can literally create anything from out of the blank darkness of your head. You see what I'm saying? And actually play it out to its fullest, most detailed nature. You see what I'm saying? So when we keep that in mind, and we keep in mind the fact that there is so much room to expand, so much potential energy that could be utilized. You see what I'm saying? So much fertility in terms of how many sons have been born. This is why I really want you niggas to like understand the symbology behind what's being dealt with here when we're dealing with abundance and the archetype of abundance, especially with it being connected to the mother. Look at all the sons that have been born and that are living and growing perfectly fine. All these different stars, all these trillions of stars in the universe are being well supported. We seem to be the ones that cut off from that are cut off from an understanding of just how well supported all of this shit actually is. It's in perfect ma'at. It's well balanced. You just have to tap into the laws and know the laws and how to work the laws in order to be able to get what you want, in order to be able to ask mama for what you want. So abundance is your birthright. Because if we're to compare all of this shit as above, so below, like the law says, right? Then boom. What we're looking at here is a womb that is creating a bunch of children. You see what I'm saying? All this dark matter, dark energy that comprises most of the damn universe is actually the great mother. And what we can see as regular matter, baryonic matter. You see what I'm saying? What we can see is electromagnetic radiation, the light of it all. That is her sun. That is her manifested form. That is her manifested power. Look at all of the shit she's sustaining and holding together at once. This is why I said there's so much abundance already available. If you just know how to look at the potential and you know how to make that potential manifest as something potent. Not potential, but potent. Alright. So abundance is a natural birthright. It is your most natural, most original state of being. Knowing that your mother is more than able to provide for you. But through the programming, you see what I'm saying, and the suppression of the divine feminine, ultimately we now no longer trust that divine feminine force. We now no longer trust that subconscious force that can ultimately sustain us beyond our conscious limits. You see what I'm saying? Can ultimately fulfill our wildest imaginations. This universe has so much space to make all these things happen, but we think that we are in lack. We live in this artificial constructed reality where there's not enough air, there's not enough water, there's not enough food, there's not enough this, there's not enough that. But yet and still, if we really look at it, there is so much potential. You see what I'm saying? So much hidden gems, you see what I'm saying, within the confines of just this earth alone. Right? So I really want to keep in mind the fact that the potential energy is important. Knowing how to transmute that potential into kinetic action, knowing how to activate those waves and have them move into the space of manifestation requires intention, attention, and a whole lot of motherfucking faith. You see what I'm saying? You have to know how to direct this energy because there is so much around to utilize that there's no reason why we should be in this space of feeling like we don't have everything we need. When if we look up at, just simply looking up at the night sky proves that there is more than enough for everybody. More than enough. Just understanding the infinite vastness of space helps you understand, yo, this is one really big field. You see what I'm saying? This is one really big, beautiful, abundant, fertile field. Because look at all the trillions of fully manifested fruit have been bared. And supposedly this is just one universe. There's a multiverse, nigga? Oh, shit. Talk about abundance. All this potential energy is here for you to really create your own reality. You see what I'm saying? You just have to accept it within yourself, and because of the programming that we've been subjected to since the fall of Atlantis, or whatever the fuck, we've lost that connection to the divine feminine. We ultimately don't know how to ask our mother to provide for us, to give us what we need. We don't know how to tell her what's wrong, so that way she can help us balance it out and get back into a greater state within ourselves. You see what I'm saying? This shit's all supposed to be growing, you see what I'm saying, in a very golden mean ratio type of 5 Fibonacci perfect organic spiral, and we've kind of cut ourselves off from that natural progression toward perfection, and now we're here. So abundance is one of those natural progressions toward perfection. Once you're able to physically sustain yourself, once you understand how to physically sustain yourself, you're able to look up toward the stars, you see what I'm saying, and think about things beyond this earth. That's why Egypt was such an amazing civilization. They were just able to feed their people really well. You see what I'm saying? And through that, they were able to have more time to focus on all of the greater pursuits of life. You see what I'm saying? And they were able, through hundreds of thousands of years, because you don't just notice a precession of the equinox after the first time seeing it. You got to be there for a while. So after hundreds of thousands of years of these civilizations doing their shit, they were able to procure a lot of this knowledge just based on the fact that they were able to think beyond their root chakra level of consciousness, their basic survival. This is why I wanted to present this ritual, is because we need to deal with those root chakra issues. And one of the root chakra issues that we end up dealing with in this particular day and age with magic, one of the most persistent programs that we're going to have to learn to uninstall, you see what I'm saying, is the fact that during those ages of birth to 7 years old, we have this lack of nourishment. We have this lack of nurturance. We have this lack of, you know, our basic survival needs being met. You see what I'm saying? And it ultimately fucking up our psyche and creating this imprint of scarcity, this imprint of lack, this imprint of famine within your environment. You see what I'm saying? And it's very deeply rooted because these things are being introduced to you from a very early age. You see what I'm saying? So it is really hard to kind of get to these particular aspects of what I might call poverty consciousness, to really be able to unpack them, remove them, integrate them, learn the lesson from them, learn that you went through this space of, you know, famine, scarcity, lack, only to realize just how abundant you are, just to realize how much opportunity and the overflow of opportunity and knowledge and power that you actually exist in once you're able to really see this thing for what it is and tap into it for what it truly is. Definitely want to keep that in mind. I also want to talk about the fact that abundance manifests money. Money does not manifest abundance. Alright? You got to be able to think higher on certain levels when it comes to these things. Alright? Why deal with just the symbol of something, right, and trying to get the symbol of something, when I can actually just be the energy of that thing that I'm looking for? Case in point, abundance. Instead of asking to be abundant and knowing that with that abundance, money naturally follows and becomes a regular occurrence within the energy of abundance, you see what I'm saying? Instead of understanding that, we just chase the money, you see what I'm saying? And this is where a lot of the magic gets fucked up, because money is a symbol of abundance, you see what I'm saying? It's green, it makes you think of like harvesting plants, you know what I'm saying? One of the oldest forms of motherfucking abundance was the harvest of crops that you had. You see what I'm saying? Did you have enough to feed your family through the winter? You were abundant. You were balling that year. You see what I'm saying? So, boom, the money that we have today in America is made out of cotton. So niggas is still slaving over cotton on a certain level, if you want to take that symbol in mind, and attach it to this thing. All of that to say, that this thing is a symbol of a greater energy, right? Why ask for just this thing when I can become the very energy itself and know that I will be able to attract this into my reality whenever the fuck I so choose to, because of the fact that I am the energy and I will naturally draw the symbols that represent that energy toward me. This is what I'm dealing with here. Abundance manifests money. When we talk about currencies, all we're talking about is a flow of energy, right? While it does have its connotations with money, as we understand, like a paper currency, all right, right? Currency is multi-dimensional in the ways that it can manifest, in the ways that it comes about, all right? So we want to keep that in mind. We want to keep in mind that there are multiple streams of income that our abundance manifests through. So just having $1 million, that's great. But having the $1 million idea will keep you wealthy for lifetimes and generations to come. You see what I'm saying? The $1 million idea is actually worth more than the $1 million. Having the mind that can create that at will, having a heart that knows how to bring those things into fruition, these are the important aspects of it. And that's what ends up drawing in this. This isn't the enemy. I've never seen money get up and shoot people. I've never seen money press a bomb button. I've never seen money fucking rape, steal, nothing. I've seen a bunch of people do those things and involve money in it. I've seen money used to accomplish those things, but I've never seen money do those things itself. You see what I'm saying? Because it itself is just a symbol. It is just a tool to direct an energy. So ultimately, money is an amplifier of what's already within your own head. You see what I'm saying? So when we come from that aspect, when we come from that understanding, this is how we're going to be able to sustain the abundance. It's not just about having $1 million, but having $1 million idea that can sustain you for an extended period of time, longer than what just the $1 million can do. Let's keep that in mind. Money is not the end-all, be-all of abundance. There are many streams and many ways that you can be abundant. You can have an overflowing of emotions. You see what I'm saying? You might have been emotionally closed for a long time. You see what I'm saying? You might have been emotionally numb for a long time. And boom, all of a sudden now you're able to really feel the depth of everything. You see what I'm saying? You're able to really understand the full range and context of everything that's going on around you and the emotional depth of it. That's a blessing. That's an abundance. That's an overflowing of something. You could have the $1 million connection. You see what I'm saying? You can know someone that has all the tools that you need to help you get a thing done. Boom, y'all link up, y'all make a dream happen. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that we're talking about. It comes in many ways. You know what I'm saying? Having an abundance of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? On how to really make this magic work. Having an abundance of knowledge of who you are that allows you to stand solid and firm in your beliefs, in your truth. All of these things become forms of abundance. And when we stop to really assess and weigh these things in our heart and really see the real value of them, this is what leads to the greater appreciation of it. And this is what ultimately leads to you wanting more. Right? That Luther Vandross song, Never Too Much, that came into my head. I already did, like I said, this $1 for my last abundance ritual that I literally did a couple of days before I started this one. That song, Never Too Much, started playing in my head when I woke up. And as I, was singing the song and listening to the song, I was catching on to the code and really seeing just how much the appreciation of the gifts that are being given to you within a particular time, in terms of the love and the blessings, the wealth of pleasure, the wealth of ecstasy, the wealth of bliss in your life. You see what I'm saying? Should not only be appreciated but also lusted after more and more. You should want more of it. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like one of the biggest aspects that's holding people back from abundance is simply not asking for it. You see what I'm saying? Feeling like they have to stay, you know, in this crab in the bucket mentality, all the while never recognizing that a bucket is not a crab's natural habitat. You see what I'm saying? So when we really, stick with and uphold these programs that aren't real, it ultimately stops us from really just telling the universe flat out, telling our mother flat out what it is that we wanted, what it is that we need, what it is that is ultimately going to help us grow and thrive in the best way possible. You see what I'm saying? So once we actually get back into that space where we know how to communicate with our subconscious mind, we know how to communicate with Mama God, so to speak. That dark energy, that womb space. You see what I'm saying? That yin nighttime energy that seems to give birth to everything that we can see in the light. Once we know how to communicate with her and tell her what we need, it becomes a lot easier to manifest everything that you want. So understand that as another aspect of the abundance energy is a divine lust, is a lust for life, is a lust for really getting to see the depth of what life is, seeing all of the deepest pains in order to also see all of the highest pleasures, and then using, the pain as a way to really heighten, you see what I'm saying, the ability within oneself to seek joy, to seek bliss, to seek ecstasy. You see what I'm saying? To seek a life of abundance, using all of this as the example of why we need to create more abundance within our life. You see what I'm saying? This really goes into a very, common understanding within, the occult community in terms of how to manifest the reality you want. Especially when we consider the fact that even in the voodoo, we can look at deities like the barons, you see what I'm saying, who are known for their irreverent humor, their very crude humor, you see what I'm saying, lots of sex jokes, you know what I'm saying, they're very wild, they're party animals and shit, pretty debaucherous characters, right? But they're also the very spirits of death, you see what I'm saying? So it is this very much necessary energy to understand that carnival, right? Or the carnival, right? The Mardi Gras, so to speak. It is it is an it is an energy that is literally tied to the giving up of flesh, the farewell to flesh. You see what I'm saying? Understanding the pain and the darkness that is here, and using it as a way to really channel yourself into this life of abundance. You see what I'm saying? Channeling yourself into a realm where you're dying your best death. You see what I'm saying? Because the womb is the tomb. That's the dual side of the divine feminine, where she's the giver of life, but she's also the face of death on that level. So we can look at goddesses like Sekhmet, goddesses like Kali, who are direct manifestations of the primal, archetype of the Great Mother, but are also intimately connected with aspects of death. So the womb is the tomb. It's the box you come out of and the box you go back into when you die. This is what we're talking about here. So really being able to understand that creation is destruction. Really being able to understand that pain is pleasure on this level, the mirrored aspects, the polarity of a thing. Understanding that poverty exists so that way abundance can exist as well. And we have the ability within ourselves to choose what it is that we're going to deal with. You see what I'm saying? We have the ability within ourselves to really direct our energy toward what we feel is best. You see what I'm saying? But it takes really knowing how to ask our mother for it. You see what I'm saying? So the programming that we're in now, we've programmed ourselves into a situation where scarcity rules the day because we really believe that. We really fed into that narrative as a part of the suppression of the divine feminine energy within, you know, the human collective, so to speak. So now that we're trying to really open up those doors again, we're trying to really understand the infinite creative potential of the Great Mother, the infinite ability of the Mother to provide, nourish, and sustain all of her creations. You see what I'm saying? To their highest peak, to their fullest evolution. These are the things that I have to get back in touch with in order to be able to really manifest the abundance that we want. We have to understand that the milk is always flowing. They called her a divine cow for a reason. The milk is always flowing, right? Y'all want to know why the candles had to be gold and had to be wrapped in gold ribbon? You see what I'm saying? The colostrum fluid. It's this yellowish gold substance in the breast milk that actually allows for the development of a baby's brain. That movie Lucy, where she took that drug and it gave her all these super cool metaphysical powers, that fucking chemical that they were talking about in the movie that gave her those abilities, the LCPH4 or some shit like that, or the LCH4, whatever the fuck it was called. That chemical, right, is based on the understanding of colostrum fluid. You see what I'm saying? In the breast milk. So understand that it's the Milky Way that you're looking up at. That's Nut, the body of the goddess, the body of the mother, the body of heaven. She is the one giving the milk, the colostrum fluid, the gold that helps us grow. You see what I'm saying? This is what we have to now come into the mind state and understanding of in order to really manifest this abundance. We have to know how to ask our mother to feed us. You see what I'm saying? We've gotten into a state where we're scared ultimately to do that. But when it comes to Nut, you have to know that you are a god yourself. You have to know that you are worthy of receiving that. So another aspect of abundance that we have to talk about is really allowing yourself to receive, being open. The feeling of abundance actually comes from the emotion of allowance. When you're open enough to allow everything to be okay and as it is, you'll feel more abundant because now you're having more experiences while ultimately being able to extract all of the gold, all of the lessons from all of these different experiences that you're having in order to produce a stockpile of wealth for yourself through experiences, through actual, physical stability, through, emotional relationships. You'll be able to do all of this with that energy, right? So we definitely want to keep that in mind when we're thinking about abundance, when we're going through this. We definitely also, like I said, want to keep in mind this is a divine lust process. So the more you appreciate, the more you should want. The more you really see, the different layers and levels of abundance, the more you ask for, right? When you stop on a subconscious level doubting your mother's ability to provide for you, right? Like I said, this is very tough programming to deal with because of how deeply rooted it is. But once you're actually able to really ask your mother, ask that yin subconscious aspect, that imaginatory aspect of yourself, and also the sexual power that comes with that aspect through the kundalini energy, right? Once you're actually able to ask that divine creative force for what you need and to give you all of the power within yourself to be able to create it, you got it. You got it, dude. Once you get where you want to go, use that as the proof of why you need to ask for more. Don't doubt her ability to provide. Because ultimately it just causes you to limit yourself and what you're willing to ask for. Don't limit your experience. We're too busy worshiping God. We need to be using the fuck out of God. You see what I'm saying? This is the energy that niggas don't understand on a certain level. Because even with goddesses like Apep, when they talk about her, they talk about the fact, or Taweret, depending on how you want to say her name. When they talk about her, they talk about her in the space of these are, forces that are set in heaven for use, not for worship. The types of time and force. You see what I'm saying? Like, These are entities that are up there, these primordial, or the primordial mother energy, the primordial creative energy. It wants to be expressed, it wants to be seen, it wants to know its own power. It directs that power through us so that way we are empowered to create. This is what we have to understand. We're too busy trying to worship God. We're not trying to use God to do godly shit. If you feel me, give me a like. Alright? That's all I'm saying. So we're dealing with this aspect of ourselves that doesn't want to actually use God to do godly shit. But we want to sit and talk like we're God, but we're not expressing God qualities. This is why, because ultimately we have this programming that's causing us on a subconscious level to really doubt this shit, to really doubt our ability to make these things manifest, to actually provide these experiences that we want. So by really dealing with not only the masculine side of it, you know what I'm saying, that physical abundance, the physical abundance and stability aspect of it, but also bringing in all of the psychological and emotional experiences that come with being able to really fully physically support yourself on that level without, you know, having to worry about whether or not you're going to be taken care of, without having to worry about whether or not all your needs are going to be met. When you don't have that fear, when you know that there's literally an abundant space, a fertile ground with which any seed that you plant can be brought to bear fruit. It just requires the confidence to initiate the process. You see what I'm saying? To ask, to, you know, call it down, to desire it, to really, you know, program it into your reality. Once you do that, it takes the shit to a whole different level. So I definitely wanted to bring that into it as well. Keep desiring more, keep asking for more, keep looking for more ways to prove God to yourself. You see what I'm saying? Keep asking for more. I'm a regular ass nigga from Broward County, and now I'm here doing abundance rituals for my motherfucking business. This shit is crazy. In 2012, I couldn't have told you I was gonna be here doing this, having this type of experience with people that genuinely want to see it happen. You see what I'm saying? So really keep that in mind when you're going about and having these experiences, when you're experimenting with the magic and really seeing how far you can push yourself in terms of generating what you want and what you need. um, Go hard, go ham. Like, don't quit, don't give up, don't do none of that shit. Keep pressing. It's a discipline thing, it's an everyday thing. You see what I'm saying? It took you years and years and years to get programmed into the bullshit that you're into now. Trust me, it's gonna take you a bit of time and a bit of elbow grease to unprogram all these things. So keep working with it. It's an everyday thing. The repetition of it strengthens the power of it. So once you're able to really go in your meditations and understand the different layers and levels that abundance can actually manifest on, and you're no longer limiting the flow of currency to you, the flow of energy, the flow of life to you, right? You'll be able to have all of these amazing experiences because you'll be able to draw and call on the energy to just make them manifest, just make them happen. You see what I'm saying? You'll be the energy of abundance and you won't have to chase money. Money will just naturally flow to you. You see what I'm saying? As you do what you do, as you live your life, as you really follow your heart, you'll be able to make it happen. You can do what you love and make money off of it. Niggas are doing it all the time. There are people out here singing their ass off that are making millions of dollars. They're just doing what they love. There are artists out here selling paintings for millions of dollars. They're just doing what they love. You have a right to do what you love and also let the gifts that you were given support the dream that you're living. Can I get a witness on that? You see what I'm saying? You can let the gifts that you're given support the life that you're living, the dream that you're living. You see what I'm saying? This is all a dream. This is one big subconscious projection. So if you want to row your boat merrily down this stream, you're going to need better currency. You're going to need more ways to pay. You see what I'm saying? Money can't be the only one. especially if you really want to deal with all of these different layers and levels of experience, you're going to need more ways to pay if you want to have more ways to play. That's just real shit. Like I said, abundance is an overflowing when you are full within self. When you believe in self, when you're comfortable within yourself, when you no longer fear for your own survival, when you're confident in your ability to go out into the world and manifest what you need to survive, when your cup is full and your cup runneth over and your blessings have been given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and all that shit like they say in the Bible, you are now in a state to where you can actually give to others without depleting yourself. It's an overflow. The shit spills over into other people, which is why I said, if you can only create prosperity and abundance for yourself, you're still broke. Because you're not really overflowing. That's the etymology of the word abundance, and overflowing. That abundance ain't spilling over into all the niggas around you. Look at Jay-Z. A lot of niggas are rich because of Jay-Z. Doing what he naturally does. Look at Beyonce. A lot of niggas is making money because of Beyonce. Creating abundance and prosperity around you. Being able to build your own platforms with which to be able to spread that wealth to other people. Abundance is not a solo mission. I hope you guys understand that. It's an overflowing. Once your cup is full and it runneth over, it's going to spill into other people's life. It's going to help water their seeds and bring their fruit to bear. It's not just about you planting your seeds and getting what you want and not being able to pass that along, right? Because a part of wanting more abundance should be wanting more abundance for others too. So that way they can get out of these, you know, very limited, very animalistic ways of thinking. That way they can look up at the stars and really see a greater universe at play. That should be the goal for all of us. So you can't just want abundance for yourself. You have to want it for, like, everybody. You see what I'm saying? While ultimately understanding that it's your job to show that there is a pathway there. It's not necessarily your job to do the work for people, but it is your job to at least show and set the example of what can and can't be done. All right. Let me see if I got anything else to talk about. Even on a genetic level, let me bring this out while I'm here. Most of your DNA isn't even active. So you niggas haven't even seen the wealth of experiences that you've gathered. You're ignorant. Pearls before swine, right? You see how I bring this full circle? You're ignorant to all of the pearls of wisdom that you gathered in your DNA, that you gathered through your journeys and through your experiences. They're all there in the subconscious. If you would just tap into the subconscious, you realize you have way more tools at your disposal to actually dig up these gems. Taurus and Scorpio. Taurus is usually associated with, like, earthly manifested abundance, right? The cow symbolism, the Milky Way, right? Scorpio is the underworld. Isn't that where all of the most expensive shit comes from? Oil comes from underground. Diamonds come from underground. Gold comes from underground. Gems, rubies, all that shit come from underground. Crystals, underground. All of that shit comes from the underworld. And then it becomes the proof, the manifested form of the abundance on the surface in the conscious realm. The subconscious mind is where the gems are. You just have to dig them out. You have a lot more tools at your disposal than what you're actually giving yourself access to. The subconscious mind communicates through symbols and trauma, which is the emotional energy tied to a symbol, and repetition, how many times that symbol is played back to you. So if you utilize these symbols and open up a space in which you're going to tap into that meditative state and enter into that subconscious state of awareness, that alpha state of awareness, that alpha wave state of awareness, right? Once you open up that space and create that intention, once you set that intention, you'll be able to program these things into your subconscious mind. That's why it's called a ritual. You have to do it ritualistically. It's every day. It's all the time. It's really doing this shit consistently enough to really deal with the different layers that are attached to it. So as these candles burn, imagine them burning through all those different obstacles. It's about the symbol. Imagine them burning through all these different obstacles to your natural state of abundance. You are a seed, and the seed naturally knows how to grow into the tree. You don't need to ask the seed how to do that, right? But the seed also knows how to transmute the elements around it in order to get the nourishment that it needs from the earth. You have forgotten how to transmute the elements in order to receive the nourishment that you need from the environment around you, which is why you're in this state currently, in this state of lack. Whereas our ancestors understood at a great level, actually, the fact that you can get everything that you want down here without having to take it from anybody else. You can get everything that you want down here without having to take it from anybody else, because there's plenty for everyone. It's infinite. All you have to do is create it. See it in your imagination, believe it in your heart, it comes to the earth. Heart, earth, same word, all you got to do is move the H. So whatever you believe in your heart is manifested outside of you as the earth. The Egyptians had a very strong border because they were minding their fucking business. They were focused on creating their reality. They weren't focused on telling other niggas how to live. They were doing their thing. They knew how to utilize the different energies of the stellar bodies, you see what I'm saying, in order to really understand the conceptual framework of reality, and also how to tap into these different layers and levels of the subconscious mind in order to call forward these experiences. You see what I'm saying? This shit is a hologram. It's all an illusion. Mahamaya, right? This shit's a hologram. It's not what it seems. That means that this shit can be programmed to look however the fuck you feel like. The Egyptians understood this at a very high level. They made it their reality. Here we are revisiting all of their techniques to try to open up a new space within our own conscious reality. This is all it is. So once we're able to really utilize this shit to its fullest level, we'll be able to get things done. So I think gratitude goes a long way. Let me say that right now. Gratitude goes a long way. Saying thank you to Mama God, to the subconscious mind, to the universe for giving you all of this experience, giving you this chance to really have the joy of relearning all of these things, getting the joy of really realizing, oh shit, I am king. You see what I'm saying? Because once it happens the first time, it's like, alright, I'm king now. You kind of lose it because you're so used to it. But once you step away from it and you come back, it's like, oh shit, yeah, I really am the king. It gives you that stronger appreciation of what it is that you actually have. It's the pearls before swine. There's so much pearls before us that we've started to lose appreciation for the gems. You see what I'm saying? Instead of truly mastering them, we're just consuming and consuming, but we're not really utilizing them in a way that's going to allow them to actually manifest tangibly the power that we're looking for to be able to co-create this reality. So now that we know how to actually do this shit, let's do this shit. Let's do it for real. Let's really get in our zone. Let's really get in our fucking bag and get the bag, so to speak. Let's get all of the abundance that's out here. All we have to do is ask for it, appreciate it, and then want more. Gratitude is very important, because on the other side of gratitude is wanting more of it. The fulfillment aspect. Drink till you're full, drink till you're drunk type thing. This is why a lot of the archetype of abundance deities, you see what I'm saying, are also connected to this divine state of inebriation. Bes, Pan, Bacchus, Dionysus, Shiva, they're all associated with this divine intoxication, because it's like, yo, they're literally high on life. They're drunk in love. Like they're really in this divine state of gratitude that allows them to keep lusting for more life. You see what I'm saying? And supposedly this is the realm of darkness. You see what I'm saying? The Dua was a realm of darkness. Well, we can only see less than 5% of all the light that actually exists. So here we are in the underworld, in the Dua. You see what I'm saying? Ultimately trying to understand higher levels of light. We're trying to die our best death. We're not trying to live our best life. We're already in the underworld. We're already here trying to mine these deeper gems. Like, oh shit, I am abundance. No wonder I had to see the poverty and all these things outside of myself in order to truly understand that within my own framework is the abundant energy to create an overflow of whatever. I can create whatever. It's not just the poverty that I can create, it's the wealth that I can create as well. Just having the ability to create, to choose, to really make this reality whatever the fuck I want and whatever the fuck I'm willing to program into it, that is the abundance. To really be able to shape this shit with your mind, that's what this shit's all about. And not just your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, these layers of the self. To be able to call forward these archetypes, to become these archetypes, and to live through them, to become abundance, is a greater goal than to just have $1 million, because it leads to a greater level of knowledge, of wisdom on the other end of it. All right, so we're dealing with that. I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about that. Really explain to you what abundance is all about. Just having that ability to really